Live from KSAT 12, the news at 5:30 starts right now.
A man is injured and police are still trying to figure out who the suspect is.
Yeah, it happened this afternoon on Stagecoach Lane near West US Highway 90. Police say the victim went to a house to confront the suspect on their property. Now, when the victim refused to leave, that suspect then grabbed a hammer and began hitting the victim. People arrived on scene and took the victim to a hospital. The suspect, though, claiming his home was being destroyed by that victim. Detectives still working the case right now, and the suspect currently has no charges.
Another man recovering after being shot while trying to escape a carjacking. It happened early this morning between US Highway 90 and West Military Drive. San Antonio police say the victim picked up two people at Quick Trip and then drove them to a motel for a party. When they arrived, the people in his car tried to rob him. He was shot several times during the fight and ran into the motel for help. He was taken to the hospital with some serious injuries. Officers are still looking for the suspects.
A motorcyclist is recovering from his injuries after he lost control of his bike and crashed. Take a look at the scene. It happened last night at the intersection of North Hunt Lane and Wildfire. Officers at the scene said the bike rider lost control and fell and slid down the road. No other cars were involved in the accident. The motorcyclist did suffer some major injuries.
22-year-old Joseph Cifuentes has been arrested for allegedly shooting an off-duty officer in San Marcos Saturday night. It happened at the Encino Point Apartments on Post Road near I-35. San Marcos police say an off-duty officer was working nearby when he heard gunshots. He followed the sound and approached a woman and a man, that man being Cifuentes. The officer says Cifuentes fired at him, hitting him once. He was rushed to the hospital and is expected to recover. Cifuentes was sent to Hayes County Jail on a list of charges, including attempted capital murder of a police officer.
The extreme temperatures have caused us to break all kinds of records this summer, but it's also affecting the water we drink.
For the first time, Canyon Lake water levels have hit a historic low.
Camelia Juarez shows us how those lake levels have changed over the last month.
That's right, Tim and Courtney. Take a look at this graph from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Just over the last month, you can see how lake levels dropped from 894.5 to 892. That's nearly a 2-foot drop in the last month. For comparison, the lowest lake elevation ever recorded was back in September 9th, 2009, according to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Today, we beat that record just barely by an inch, but it doesn't look like water levels will improve anytime soon. It's important to keep an eye on Canyon Lake because we actually use that water every day. The San Antonio water system actually pumps water from Canyon Lake so that it doesn't have to rely so heavily on the Edwards Aquifer. Donovan Burton with SAWS says it is paying close attention to Canyon Lake as well as other sources of water.
So, for example, Canyon Lake, we get water from Canyon Lake. That has been reduced as well because of drier conditions. And so that one we see some impacts. We have a Trinity Aquifer, which reduces as well in drought. Some of the other ones are a little more drought tolerant. They're not affected by year-to-year drought.
Coming up tonight, we will tell you how the Edwards Aquifer is teetering on the most critical conservation stage and the measures in place to keep the aquifer full. Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Happening around America, 3 people shot and killed inside a Florida store yesterday by a gunman who police say acted on, quote, disgusting ideology of hate. Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters says all 3 victims, 2 men and a woman, were black.
The sheriff said the shooter, a man in his early 20s, first tried to enter a historically black university in Jacksonville, but was turned away by security. Rob Kirkpatrick with CNN has the latest on the gunman who put on tactical gear before opening fire outside of a Dollar General.
Tragedy unfolded on the streets of Jacksonville Saturday when police say a gunman opened fire at a Dollar General store in a racially motivated attack.
At 1:18 p.m., he texted his father and told his father to check his computer. At 1:53 p.m., the shooter's family members called the Clay County Sheriff's Office. By that time, he had already began shooting in Jacksonville.
The gunman, who police identified as 21-year-old Ryan Christopher Palmetter, killed 3 people, and police say he clearly targeted black people. The suspect used racial slurs and left behind writings to his parents, the media, and federal agents, outlining what the sheriff called his, quote, disgusting ideology of hate. The shooting occurred on the same weekend of the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, and Martin Luther King's granddaughter says the dream is still not fulfilled.
60 years ago, my grandfather delivered his dream, his message, and that was a call to action. And 60 years later, the dream still has not been fulfilled.
Paul Metter put on a bulletproof vest and mask and went into the Dollar General store and started shooting before turning the gun on himself, according to police.
Anyone who enters into a store and does this to perfectly innocent people, one doing his job, a couple of customers, is baffling to me. It's very difficult for me to watch.
Members of the community, including Jacksonville's mayor, say the hate has to end.
It's too much. It's too often. We keep going down the same path.
This makes no sense. I am very, very angry right now.
I'm Rob Kirkpatrick reporting.
A spokesperson for Hawaiian Electric is denying reports the company may have removed evidence related to the wildfire investigation on Maui. The Washington Post, the first to report the utility, possibly removed evidence from the scene in Lahaina. But a spokesperson for Hawaiian Electric says the Post story is not accurate. They go on to say they're fully cooperating with federal, state, and local investigators and providing access to any equipment that workers removed. But victims of the fire are suing the company now, saying they failed to shut down the power lines ahead of the fire despite warnings of high winds and red flag warnings. Tonight, we will continue talking about the local impact of the Maui wildfire and a luau fundraiser that will help some of the victims of that tragedy. Still to come on this newscast, our power grid problems are still not over. What ERCOT and CPS Energy are saying could happen tonight. That's next.
Plus, schools around the country that received federal funding during the pandemic are still having problems regarding student education. We'll talk about these issues after the break.
All right, despite getting $190 billion in COVID money, schools across the country are still struggling to catch up from pandemic-related challenges. Education experts say between March 2020 and 21, Congress approved more than 6 times the usual amount of funding for K through 12 schools from federal government in a normal year. But even then, the problems continue. Harvard University's Center for Education Policy's research says the average student lost a half a year of learning just in math, and the school districts that receive federal aid have just 1 year left now to take advantage and use that money.
Well, the past couple of days have not been kind to the Texas power grid, with ERCOT once again warning the state to conserve energy. In a Facebook post today, by CPS Energy, they said there's a strong chance we can enter emergency operations this evening from 6 to 9 o'clock. This means the possibility of rolling blackouts. We've been lucky so far in not triggering those blackouts, but neither ERCOT nor CPS Energy have said when conservation appeals will end. And we know this is another record day.
Yes, absolutely. So, of course, the heat contributing to that. And, of course, when the sun goes down, we start to lose some of that solar generation. And, of course, winds have been dropping that time frame as well. So if you can conserve energy this evening, definitely that would help out. Now, something else that we are monitoring, though, we have some rain out there on the radar, which also could help cool things down for a few of us. We actually have a weak cool front moving through central Texas. Most of the activity closer to the Austin area, but you can see especially across the southern Edwards Plateau and into the hill country near Kerrville and Rock Springs, we do have some scattered activity. We'll talk about what the rest of the evening looks like, plus what the significance of today's triple-digit temperature means after the break.
All right, you wanted the records just to say we've won. Now we've won. Now let's cut it out.
Oh!
We did it.
Was not expecting that. Wow.
Did Tim make
with paper confetti?
We did. I got to go find the broom and clean it up.
I'm so impressed by this.
I will say, this is definitely something we've been talking about over the past several weeks, right? We knew that it was going to be a possibility, and with all of the heat that we've had to endure over the past several months in South Central Texas, at least we're getting credit for it, but honestly not the type of records that we actually want to be breaking. So take a look at this. We've had another high in the triple digits today. That marks our 60th triple digit day so far this year, so we now snag the top spot for most number of 100-degree plus days, now beating out 2009 that had 59 triple-digit days. 104 right now, still the current temperature here in San Antonio, 100 in Carrizo Springs, 107 out east in Gonzales. But you can see, especially across portions of the Hill Country, Fredericksburg Junction right now, actually in the mid-80s. And that is thanks to some of that rain activity that we have moving across central Texas, all associated with a weak cool front. Now, this cool front's not really going to affect our daytime highs a ton as we gear up for the upcoming work week, but it does look to usher in a little bit of drier air, especially by Tuesday, and yes, spark up some of that rain activity. We actually do have another chance as we head into tomorrow afternoon as well. So here's what we're looking at here this 5 p.m. hour. That activity now starting to work again into the Hill Country and the southern Edwards Plateau regions, and that really is going to be the area that's going to have the best chance of finding a few splashes of rain generally before the sun goes down. You can see a few showers just to the north of Comfort, stretching over to Sisterdale out there in Kendall County. A few light splashes of rain near Mountain Home as well as Kerrville, and then a few heavier downpours the farther west you go, far western Edwards County and stretching over into northern Valverde County there near Juneau. This activity slowly working its way farther off to the south, all associated with this weak cool front that's going to continue to do so as well. So generally, we're going to keep about a 30% potential for a few more isolated downpours, maybe some widely scattered showers and storms the farther north that you go through about 8 o'clock. But then after the sun goes down, we lose that daytime heat, which is a fuel for this activity to get up and running. Then we're going to start to see that fizzle out, radar settles down, and I think most of us are quiet as we head into the overnight. Tomorrow morning, I think we'll start off mostly dry across South Central Texas with a bit more sunshine, but then another round of some scattered showers and storms is expected, especially into the afternoon. This is your futurecast depicting what the radar will look like by noon. It's possible we start to see a few more isolated showers and storms through the lunchtime hour, and then a better chance, especially the farther west you go, as we head into the 3, 4, 5 o'clock hour. That's slowly going to work its way farther south by Monday evening, and then also like today, after the sun goes down, whatever is left out there does look to die down as well. Temperature-wise, we're going to start off in the upper 70s tomorrow morning. Again, not expecting a lot of issues out there for the morning commute, so that's good. But it is going to be another hot day before we can see some of that activity get up and going as well. 96 by noon. We're going to see that daytime high top off near the century mark by 2 to 3 o'clock. And then depending on where some of those showers and storms are able to pop up, temperatures might come down a bit more if you're stepping out for any of those Monday evening plans. After that, it is looking to be a drier and hot rest of the work week. Again, we should see some slightly drier air filter in by Tuesday and Wednesday, which will be good for our morning lows. Those down just a few degrees into the mid 70s by Thursday and Friday, but that also elevates fire danger. So we'll monitor that as well. But until then, we'll keep eyes on the Hill Country, especially for a few showers and storms through about sunset this evening. And then again, eyes on the radar by tomorrow afternoon.
How long ago did you rip up that confetti?
Right before we came out here.
Oh, so it wasn't like last week?
No. That was controlled confetti.
You didn't store it in a little box?
That was not an Adam Caskey level confetti.
Yeah,
no canyon.
No one can compare themselves.
All right, Trey Lance finds a home in the Big D, Mary.
And this is the first time we're going to hear from head coach Mike McCarthy following the trade that lands the quarterback, the Cowboys, the quarterback Trey Lance. Plus, SAFC extends its unbeaten streak to 6 matches, and they do it against the best team in the USL.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
It was a bittersweet night for fifth-year quarterback Will Grier in what was seemingly his final act with the Dallas Cowboys. With Dak Prescott calling plays, Grier threw for 305 yards and had a hand in 4 touchdowns to guide Dallas to a 31-16 preseason win over the Raiders. On Friday, the Cowboys sent a 4th-round pick to the 49ers in exchange for former number 3 overall pick Trey Lance out of NDSU. Lance will likely fill the 3rd-string QB role behind Dak and Cooper Rush, meaning Grier was in fact trying to make his case for 31 other NFL teams. After last night's game, head coach Mike McCarthy spoke to the media about Lance for the first time since the acquisition.
Excited about the acquisition. Obviously, I think anytime you have an opportunity to, really just trust your, personnel grades. Obviously he's a young man that was highly sought of, in all organizations, no different than ours. So, the timing of it is tough, and that's where I'd really like to shift gears here, because I can't tell you how proud I am of Will Grier and the team, just the way they played tonight. But yeah, I think he gets in town maybe tomorrow or Monday. I'm not, that hasn't been finalized, or I haven't seen that itinerary yet. So, but excited to have him part of it. He's coming to a damn good football team, a great locker room, and an outstanding quarterback room.
The Cowboys finished the preseason with a 1-2 record, and now they must finalize their 53-man roster by Tuesday. At 7 o'clock this evening, the Houston Texans and New Orleans collide for the finale of the NFL preseason. Rookie QB C.J. Stroud will get his 3rd and final start of the preseason, with head coach DeMeco Ryans adding Stroud and the other first-team group will play in about 2 series against the Saints. The Texans have yet to officially name their Week 1 starter at quarterback against the Ravens, but regardless, the coaching staff is feeling real good about Stroud's improvement.
You could see the body still was moving fast. The mind definitely slowed down compared to the first game, which is what you need to have at the quarterback position. He was able to, go through his reads, go through his progressions. He still had an aggressive mindset, which we want at that position. When one was open, when we were able to get an explosive, he would execute the throw, and he was throwing it well. He was reading, seeing the field well. He commanded the huddle well. It was definitely a step in the right direction. There's always, as always in the preseason, there's stuff we have to fix, there's stuff we have to clean up, but significantly improved, even just mentally.
Stroud was on the field for 12 snaps against the Patriots, where he completed 2 of 4 passes for 13 yards and a pick. And in the following week against the Dolphins, Stroud's snap count increased to 22, where he went 7 of 12 for 60 yards. We'll see what happens in his final tune-up before the regular season begins. It was quite a week for San Antonio native Kellen Mond. Yesterday, Mond entered the Browns' final preseason game against KC in the 3rd quarter and went 10 of 19 for 93 yards and 1 interception in Cleveland's 33-32 loss. And days prior, the Browns announced they were waiving Mond, but before the transaction was processed, they pulled Mond from the waiver wire after instead sending Joshua Dobbs to Arizona. Mond is trying to earn his way to the 3rd quarterback spot on the roster, and we'll know by Tuesday if he made the cut. 2 of the USL Championship League's top clubs in San Antonio FC and Pittsburgh battled in a scoreless draw last night. SAFC only conceded 1 shot on target in the strong defensive effort to move to 13-4-9 on the season, with 48 points for the team's 2nd consecutive clean sheet, sitting at 2nd place in the Western Conference. For goalkeeper Jordan Farr, it was his 7th shutout of the season.
We're all very serious about this year, about where we want to end up, and we understand that the month of August, September, and October are the most important months of the year, and a lot of teams kind of deteriorate because it's hard. There's a lot of games in this league, and schedules can be difficult, and so I think we are realizing that and kind of pushing a little extra in training, and I think that's proving dividends on the field.
The draw moves FCFC's unbeaten streak to 6 matches. The club returns to the pitch on Wednesday at RGV FC. Now let's see how the Rangers are doing. Rangers owned a 5-0 lead over the Twins up until the 6th inning, where they gave up 4 runs. Minnesota forced extras, and the Twins steal the win 7-6 in 13 innings. Minnesota wins the series 3-1. Justin Verlander and the Houston Astros routed the Detroit Tigers 17-4 to earn the series win in the rubber match, and we'll have further highlights on Instant Replay.
Could have used a little help from the Rangers there, but that's okay.
Just a little. We'll be right back.
Gusty winds upwards of about 40 miles per hour possible on the leading edge of some of that scattered rain. If it can hold together, could work into northern Bexar County in about an hour. Not going to be for everybody, but we'll continue to keep you updated.
See some real rain instead of it raining confetti in here.
Okay. You need that. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here tonight on the Night Beat at 10 o'clock.